My fiance wants to get ready for our wedding in our house with all the girls. That means that this place needs to be finished. Otherwise, photographers, in laws, hair and makeup, and everyone else is going to see that we live in a dirty, disgusting, gutted house. Did I mention I have to do this in less than 100 days? Now, this doesn't mean that the house is totally started from scratch. I did start this project 8 years ago when I first moved in. And so far, I have the office finished, the bedroom is finished, and the bathroom is done, and I just completed the sunroom before filming this, but I have to get the dining room and the living room finished, which is the main part of this house. You can see I have to replace all the ceiling framing and obviously put a new ceiling in. I have to finish framing the walls, and if I want it to look like that sunroom there, well, I'm going to need wall coverings, I'm going to need new outlets, I'm going to need lights, and just about everything else you can imagine to finish a house. So now I'm getting right into it. I'm just ripping and tearing because the stress is real. So I got to demo everything. And did I mention that my entire HVAC system is in my attic? So as I'm demoing the ceiling, I have to strap everything to the rafters up above me and still find a way to support the entire furnace that sits in my attic. So here I go, just with pipe strapping, doing the best I can and trying to make this happen the easiest way possible. Okay, so now we're all cleaned up. The next thing is to get a measurement from bedroom wall there down to the glue lamb right there to carry all the way down. This is a little easier with two people, but I'm here alone right now. So what I'm gonna do is, here's the existing 2x6s that I put in a while ago. They're doubled up because I'm planning on putting attic floor above it, and that's gonna act as the ceiling for the room, just like as you can see in here in our bedroom. There I left the old framing and I wish I would have just redone it. So here I have a bigger span than the bedroom, so I'm going to be doubling these up to 2x6s and then painting everything.
If you look down the top edge of this board, you can see it has a slight crown up after it's attached. The screw pattern on the end, I do one in the middle. The opposite side has one top and bottom. And then I just space them roughly 2 feet, and the other side has them opposite. So there's one there, the other one next one's there, and so on, so that they're constantly screwed in about every foot, even though it's every 2 feet, it only appears.
I set one end up on top and then I set the other one on the ladder, and this makes it easier for me to climb up and to get ready to screw the other side in, start a couple screws and go for it.
Here's the end of the day. I got the living room done. So now it's just time for the 20-foot long joists that are going to go from the beam all the way through what's going to be a closet to the bedroom wall. Huckle. 90 or 91 days until the wedding is here. So here's what I was able to get accomplished this week. I was able to demo the walls that were here and finish taking out the rest of the ceiling that spans through the living room. And you can see underneath here is where I strapped up the furnace with the angle iron. And that right there is the condensate pump. Condensate from the making heat from the furnace comes into this line through the trap and then into this pump. I still have to find a more permanent way to support that. I just have zip ties holding it up just because I didn't want it to keep taking away from time I could be spending working on this. And you can see a lot of the garbage is gone, but some of it is still over here. It's just like the things that I'm going to keep and things that I'm going to give away that I didn't want to throw out in the dumpster.
So now I have the 20 footers. I'm starting by screwing a 14 footer to it because that's the way it worked out on the wall. And then I'm going to set this thing up on the wall there, set it on my ladder like the others, and start screwing it in. And here comes Lauren, probably to talk some trash and ask why it's taken so long.
So now all the ceiling joists are in. And you can see eventually this wall where the TV is going to go straight across. And that's going to become a closet for the bedroom. I'm going to move the door over and the window is going to be changed out. But now I'm ready to put joist hangers into the beam where there's no ledger to hold it. All right, 83 days until the wedding. And I'm starting to put the ceiling on. As you can see, all of the ceiling joists are done behind me. And I did move my return duct. So instead of cutting a new square right there, I moved down to the next section. It has two hems on the side and a tab that's left on the bottom. And I cut this one shorter by 8.5 inches to make sure that this would end up centered in this bay so I can block it in and make sure I have a proper air return. Here's the ceiling material. It's a 1x6 with a single bead on it. And there's knots and stuff in it, so it's making it a little tough. Here's what it's starting to look like on the ceiling. It's a pain to do by yourself. Just because until I get a big enough platform where I'm out of this eave up here, and I can actually kneel up there with a stack of boards. So I'm only about 5 or 6 courses out right now, but it's starting to get a little faster. All right, now we're on to Sunday morning, and this is everything that I could possibly get done yesterday. And now I'm starting to feel the pressure a little bit because I did not really think that this was going to take me as long as it did. But I guess at least it looks cool. All right, it's the end of the weekend, and this is how far I got. I was able to get to there. There's about 53 inches left from like the main part of the wall back to where I have to finish. You can see almost all the furnace is covered up. Here's where I boxed in for my cold air return for the furnace. So that's going to get cut out, and then this vent which holds the filter is going to be stuck up in there. That box is sized for that to screw right to it. So that's going to be flush down with the joists, but everything else will be pushed up into the ceiling, flush with like all the air ducts that blow out hot air will be flush with the floorboards there. So just a little bit more to go to finish up on top of the furnace, and it was kind of a pain, especially where the cold air return was, because there was no room. So what I ended up doing is construction adhesive on the top of the joists and toe screwing up to hold the boards down. And then I'll fill those holes and cut off the construction adhesive once it's dry. 76 days until the wedding. As you can see, Lauren started to bend the knots while I've been at work, and this is where I'm at. I only have that much more to do, which is roughly like 4 courses, I think, because I've done some after work this week. As you can see here where the wall steps in, I still have quite a bit more, but really not too bad. And I got a 2x4 bracing the joists there to make sure that they stay straight. Okay, so now it's late. It's the end of the day. As you can tell probably from the lack of light in this room. It's dark out. I got the vent cut out for that, but the ceiling is done, and I could not be happier that this is behind me. This, I'm hoping, is going to be the biggest pain in this project, and now it's already behind me, but that's never, ever the case. It's the next morning, new window, moved the door over, and spray foamed this little bay. So at least that's over with. And now I'm able to finally bring that wall across all the way to where it's going to meet right there and kind of close off the closet. This is what I was dealing with that day, and we had a family thing to get to, so there was a lot of pressure on me to finish this. 44 days until the wedding. As you can see, I got some electrical done in here. In the sunroom, there's sconce there, sconce over there. Then in the living room, hi Huckleberry, there's a ceiling light, one there and one in the dining room. And then there's also this one in the office. So now it's time to get working on these outlets here. 40 days until the wedding. So you can see I started getting tongue and groove up on the walls. This is just the dining room. And you can see I stopped there to allow for brick in front of the wood stove. So it's just that living room to go. And then the trim, of course. All right, I got up at 5 a.m. this morning. It's 35 days until the wedding. It's a Saturday. I was able to get this much done so far on that living room wall. I have a bunch of pieces pre-cut for that. And I did run the first strip around where the closet's going to be, just so that everything is scribed up to the ceiling and it's all ready to go, so that I can just start running these pieces down. Just over a month to go now, and this is really when the pressure started to hit me, and I realized just how far off I was, but at least this part was fairly easy. There it is. That took probably about, I would say, 15 minutes. But again, nothing had to fit there in the corner because that's going to get overlapped. Nothing had to fit here because that's going to get an extension jamb and door trim. So that made it a lot quicker. But so it's 1:15 on the dot. Still Saturday. I got that wall done, this wall done. So the last thing is now framing from there down to the wall there and boxing the closet. So now I'm gonna head to G&H, get some 2x4s. 34 days until the wedding. Now all the tongue and groove is up. You can see there's the wall behind me that wasn't framed yesterday. The new blocking there to close that in. Here's the walk-in closet. For some reason, the camera angle on this makes the closet look super narrow, but it actually works out pretty good. Now it just needs trim and patch the floors, paint, and put the fireproof backing on the wood stove. 28 days till the wedding, so now we're in crunch time. We really got to get this done. We're running out of weekends. Today we need to start out by patching where the old walls were. And then we're gonna go around and check anywhere that's not 3/4 of an inch or less off the wall so that the baseboard will cover, and go around and patch in the floors like where the door got moved and things like that. You can see Lauren painted the ceiling first coat, so it's one more coat and that's done. And it's getting close. Now, patching these floors aren't super difficult. It's just really, really time consuming. So you have to get a straight line established off of the old floor, and then you can go ahead and stick your new floorboard in. And then I just use this little oscillating tool and go around and make sure that it's super tight. Everything fits really nice. And then you can go ahead and screw that down. 27 days until the wedding, and yesterday took me all day to patch the floors. I think I put 12 different patches around this place. You can see like the corner there behind me all the way out to there. There's another little one on the ground over here, but anyway, now I'm starting to trim out the doors and get everything ready. I'm just sanding around the bottoms of them so that I can get the big sander in here and sand the floors. And then I'll do the windows last. All right, let's get to it. All right, door to the office. All done, and door to the kitchen is done. And you see those marks there? They're for the biscuit that holds the joint together. Here I am sanding the floors. You can see how interested Huckleberry is. But this is actually 3 different types of flooring. We have white pine, the middle of the house had red oak, and then the dining room area had yellow pine. The house used to be broken up very different. 20 days until the wedding, and we're moving right along. Everything's just about trimmed out. As you can see behind me, I'm working on the columns. There's just one more over there. Little half column to do. Even though it's hard to tell, Lauren painted the floors. It's a mess right now, but we went with the color Mountain Moss. It's like a greenish brown, kind of gray color. And there's Mountain Hound. 4 o'clock now and it's all done. All the trim is finished. This room's just ready for paint, and there I have to put the brick on the back and pour a little concrete hearth for the wood stove. But this is it. It's ready for paint. We did use a floor paint, but also on top of that I put 1 coat of polyurethane. I wish I could have done more, but we just didn't have time. All right, not sure how many days. I'm sure it's in the teens until the wedding. So now I'm working on the fireplace behind it and the hearth. It's about 5 o'clock after work, and I'm just cutting out the floor, and then I'm gonna pour a concrete hearth. There's the size of the hearth. The floor all cut out. I'm in the middle of pulling out the floorboards. It's gonna get a layer of tar paper down there, zip tape around the edges to protect the wood from rotting from the concrete moisture. And then we're going for it. All right, there it is. 3/4 of an inch above the floor. And I beveled those strips to make it less of a trip hazard. 13 days until the wedding. There's the hearth that we poured. It's all dry now. And here's yesterday after work. I was able to get the Durarock on. So now what we're gonna be doing is the thin brick sheets. Definitely not an expert on this, so we're just gonna see how it goes. Because not only is the ceiling crooked, with what's plumb around it, but also the hearth is crooked. All right, got the first row up and just started the second row. I did cheat it off the top a little bit over there and kept the mortar gap the same as the rest of the brick over here, and I don't think you'll notice, just 1/8 of an inch to try and keep things more level. But it's weathered brick anyway, so I don't think you'll notice. There's the second row finished. And now it's time to, since that's gonna end right in the middle of the sheet, figure out that notch there for the stovepipe. And then once I'm past that, it's smooth sailing. Also right now, just so you know, because I'm not taking a video of it, it's been 27 minutes since I got up and started to mix that thin set and got everything going. So 27 minutes so far to get me, I think it's just under a quarter of the way down the wall. So not too bad. Third row on, that notch was a little bit tough because all I have is a circular saw to cut this thing with a diamond blade. Fourth row in, just about halfway there. And so far I'm 1 hour in. There it is, all finished. It took right around 2 hours to complete. So not too bad. Last thing to do is just to take some mortar and grout the joints with it. Then we're done. All right, still the same day. Just woke up from a nap and now I'm putting the cleats in the closet. So around the bottom, it's gonna be an L, 14.5 inches wide, and then the top is gonna be just a single 2x10, 3 shelves there. Then eventually over here, I wanna put a little jewelry station, and then we'll put a mirror on the wall there. All right, it looks like a mess, but there's the first shelf on there. Now we're gonna do the top one, and then the rest should be easy. All right, it's about 10 o'clock at night. The clothes closet is done, except for across the top over there. I'm gonna put a little hanging, just in case Lauren has any dresses or anything she wants to hang up, she can put them there. Really happy with how it came out. I think it looks really cool. I was gonna make plywood boxes, but these just seem more fitting for the house. So then we just have to make a couple little jewelry shelves there. There's the jewelry shelf. The rest of the closet. Right, the house is done. Still some cleaning to do. Here's the kitchen. Walk into the dining room. As you can see, I'm hanging up things. I got the ducks in. The dog kennels. Still some cleaning up to do. And from here we'll go into the office. Still got to find a spot to put all the guns and where to hang the fox fur. And you can see I got the behind the wood stove finished and the wood stove back in. This is a picture of our waterfall that my uncle gave us for a wedding present. 4 days to go. Built a shelf here for the dish to sit on and hid the cords nicely. That little outlet I put back there was a good idea. Some more pictures. Starlink router. And then if we come over here, here's the porch all finished. We have the radio set up over here. Some more guns I have to put away. And the wicker furniture. We still want to get a wicker couch for it, but all in all, I'm super happy with how it came out. You can get a full view there, kinda. I'm really happy with it. So, last thing to do is have the company come set up the tent and the barbecue truck and then get married. So here's a picture of Lauren getting ready in the house, and here's a picture of us getting officially married. Thanks for watching.